Anyone who's been involved in strata management knows the pain of paperwork, right? Disputes can mean just mountains of it. But what if you could handle all of that online? Today, we're going to dive into one specific rule, Regulation 55, and see how it's completely changing the game.
So here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with how the law even allows for online submissions. Then we'll ask the big question, is e-filing actually valid? After that, we'll tackle digital signatures, and then we'll get to the really cool part, a time saver called the attestation exception. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you know exactly what this means for you.
All right, first up, the digital tribunal. I mean, just think about the old way of doing things, right? Stacks and stacks of paper, hiring couriers, making trips just to submit a document. But the law has been catching up, and it's opened a door for a much more efficient way of doing things. So let's just cut right to the chase. Whether you're a property owner or you sit on a JMB or MC, you've probably wondered this. Do I really have to print all this out and drive it over there? Can I just, file it online? And the answer is a resounding yes. And this isn't some kind of loophole or a gray area, it is written right into the regulations. The law explicitly says the tribunal can provide an e-filing service. It was designed from the ground up to modernize the entire process. Okay, so you can send it online. Great. But that leads to the next big question, doesn't it? Does it actually count? Is it legally legit? It's one thing to hit send, but it's another thing entirely for that submission to be officially recognized. So let's make sure it's valid.
To really get this, we have to understand this key term, lodgement. Now, this isn't just about sending an attachment in an email. Lodgement is the formal step where your document officially lands on the tribunal's desk, so to speak, and becomes a part of the official legal record. The real question is whether an electronic file can achieve that same formal status.
Well, the regulation makes it super simple. It basically gives us a 3-point checklist. First, you transmit the document electronically. Easy enough. Second, and this is the most important part, you have to do it in a way the tribunal has approved. You have to use their system. And if you do those two things, then third, bam, your document is officially considered filed. It's that straightforward. And if you're looking for the legal firepower behind that, here it is. The rule says that if you follow the tribunal's approved method, you shall be deemed to have satisfied the requirement. That's legal speak for you're good to go. Your digital document carries the exact same legal weight as a piece of paper you hand-delivered. No question about it. So, we've established that you can file online and that it's valid. But what about signatures? What about official stamps or seals? How on earth does that work when there's no actual dotted line to sign on?
Yeah, this is a huge concern for a lot of people. I mean, we're all so used to a wet ink signature being the gold standard of authenticity. So how does the digital process make sure everything is legit and properly authenticated?
Well, the people who wrote the regulations thought of that. They gave the tribunal the power to approve its own specific method for digital certification. So maybe it's a digital signature, maybe it's a secure login portal. Whatever they decide on, the key takeaway is, as long as you use their approved process, your document is considered properly authenticated.
And that brings us to what I think is the most powerful, most practical part of this whole regulation. It's a special exception that gets rid of one of the biggest traditional headaches, the attestation. This is a real game changer. So, quick refresher on attestation. You know how some documents require you to sign, and then someone else has to physically watch you do it and sign as a witness? That's attestation. And let's be honest, trying to coordinate schedules with a witness can be a real pain. And here is the difference in a nutshell. It's night and day. The old way, physical filing, you need your signature and you have to find a witness. But the new way, electronic filing, that entire requirement for a witness attestation, it's just gone, not required. And again, this isn't just a suggestion. It's black and white law. The regulation is crystal clear. It says right there that if a document is filed electronically, the requirement for attestation of the signature does not apply. This is a massive step in cutting down red tape and just making the whole process faster and simpler. So we've just gone through a lot of detail from the regulations. Let's zoom out and put it all together. What does this actually mean for you in the real world? Let's quickly recap the key takeaways. So, what does this all boil down to? First, efficiency. The whole process just got a lot faster. Second, convenience. You can literally file from your office or your home, anytime. Third, way less bureaucracy. No more chasing down a witness. And most importantly, it's all legally valid. Your e-filed documents are rock solid.
This is all about finally bringing strata management into the 21st century.
And that really gets you thinking, right? E-filing is a huge leap forward. It makes these legal processes so much more accessible. So the question is, what's next? If we can digitize this part of the process, what other areas of strata management are just waiting for that next smart digital innovation to make life even easier for everyone? Something to think about.